Notice how your body feels and what's going on with your brain, your mind. Someone suggested that we do a practice on feeling overwhelmed. That might not be the case for everybody here. I'm sure it's not. And yet we all know that experience. And sometimes it's quite intense, and sometimes it's just a sense of life is pretty busy right now. I have a friend who likes to rename that or reframe that as life is full. And that's a different experience than life when it's not so full, when things are kind of going along in a easier way. As you're taking that moment to rest your body and get comfortable, notice also your breath. Take a few deep inhales and long exhales, or kind of deep sighing exhales. See if you could let go. And then a long, slow 6-second exhale or longer. And then let your body go back to breathing whatever pattern it wants to. And for a moment, let's anchor into the breath. The breath is such a powerful way to be present with our own experience when we're noticing the breath. So notice how it flows in your nostrils. There's that simple awareness of the feeling of the cooler air of the inhale as it moves over the membranes in the nose. We can feel it in the back of the throat, behind the tongue. And the experience of exhaling is completely different. The warmer air doesn't have that same sense as the cooler air as it comes in. The warmer air goes out. Same amount of air, same pace or speed even, but we don't notice it in the same way as the inhale. And then bring your attention down from the face through to the chest into the belly area. And let's take a moment to anchor our attention into the breath. Notice where your chest or your stomach area is moving. Notice the pace and rhythm of your breath. Notice the physicalness of your breath as well. When we breathe in, there's that lengthening of muscles. If your breath is primarily up in your chest, just bring your attention down to your belly. Let your belly soften. And allow your breath to move lower in your body. The one thing that we know is that when we're feeling overwhelmed or any kind of experience we're having in our daily life, coming in to a practice like we've all done, we've all set aside this time just now to come in, do a practice, restore, relax, attend to, just noticing the breath, the simple act of noticing the breath helps us to settle. And it's so easy during our daily life to move about with kind of contracted bodies and tight breathing. And for this 20 minutes, we can let all of that go. We could soften our body, lengthen our breath. Notice what's happening in your mind. Where does your mind go when there's a moment like that? Maybe your mind is still carefully attending to your breath, noticing how when you breathe out, there's that softening. Your belly settles back towards your spine. Or maybe your mind wandered off into thoughts and stuff that's happening in your life, all kinds of possibilities there. But whatever was happening with your mind, we always have the opportunity to be kind and patient with ourselves. Bring your attention back and let it settle again on the breath. As we relax, our breath starts to come back into its natural pattern, which is continuous. There's not a lot of time between the exhale and inhale. We're not holding our breath. And it's smooth. There's no jerkiness or pauses, breaks in the breath. It's diaphragmatic, which means that the diaphragm muscle is moving. We're not breathing high up in the chest. As the diaphragm muscle flattens down on the inhale, the stomach rises. And then the diaphragm settles back up as the lungs empty of air and the stomach comes down towards the spine. So when we're breathing diaphragmatically, that's the movement that we notice. As we breathe in, there's this expansion. Stomach rises, we're bringing air into the lungs. And then as we release that stale air out of the lungs, the stomach also settles back to the spine. Everything softens. Notice the whole back of your body, back of your head, back of your neck, back of your ears, the hinges of your jaw, down through the shoulders, through the whole of your back, back of your arms, back of your legs. Notice the whole back of your body. And then bring your attention to your shoulders, the right shoulder blade, your left shoulder and left shoulder blade, all of those muscles of the upper back. And if you're supported that way, if you're lying down, Really let yourself feel heavy and settled in your body. Let your shoulders soften into the floor. Take a big inhale and then a long exhale. Give yourself time to really settle the whole of your back into the support of the floor. Right now, we're doing the practice. We have time. We can breathe, we can settle our body. As you take another deep breath, notice the lower ribs at the back of your body. There's this expansion of the lower rib cage as we breathe in deeply. And then that lovely softening as we breathe out. And then keep some of your attention on this beautiful rhythm and experience of the breath. The stomach rising and falling as the air is entering our lungs and the stale air is leaving it. And then let's focus for a bit on the mind. What's going on in the mind when we feel overwhelmed? There are a number of sentences that might come up, like, it's too much, I'm too busy, I can't handle it, I'm overwhelmed. And as you're aware of your whole body and you're aware of your breath, notice the sounds of those. Notice if you can see them like they're written out in your mind's eye. And notice your response if there's any particular words or phrases that come up for you right now. And if nothing feels really sticky, you just stay with relaxing and stay with your breath. And if something does feel sticky, notice the response now in your body. I feel overwhelmed. What does that feel like in your body? Is it a certain location? Is it your whole body? Is it tight? Is it contracted? Is it painful? What exactly does it feel like physically in your body? How would you describe? I feel overwhelmed, and this is what it feels like in my body. We'll come back to thoughts in a minute, but just for now, what does it physically feel like in your body when you're overwhelmed? Can you feel it in your arms and legs? And notice the location. If it's a whole body experience, then notice there's space all around the outside of your body. So, does this feeling of overwhelm fill your whole body? If it doesn't, then notice exactly where in your body is it and notice where it's not. So, if there's a feeling of heaviness in your chest, where do you not feel that anymore? Does it go all the way to the back? Does it go up into your throat, down into your belly? Like, what's the location? And then put your attention on the space around the sensation. And notice that the feeling of overwhelm doesn't go on forever. It's not outside of the room, it's not up in the ceiling. It's in or really closely around your body. Put your attention on the space that surrounds the feeling or the sensation. And continue to notice your breath. Be present in your body. If overwhelm right now feels kind of antsy, like you need to shake out your body, go ahead and do that. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs, move around a bit. And if deeply resting and being still feels like the right thing, that's always helpful. Come back to the words if you like. You can always do tapping 2 fingers on your forehead, just bringing your attention away from the words, just into the sound and sensation of the tapping, until that's what you're paying more attention to. And then come back to resting in your body. Take a few deeper breaths again. And notice if you can welcome the feeling of being overwhelmed, if that's what you're feeling, or tired, or whatever it is that you're feeling. Can you welcome that experience, or are you resisting it? We almost always resist things that are uncomfortable or scary. So, feeling of overwhelm is not something that we're generally happy to have show up, and yet it's here. And could you welcome that? I'm in a circumstance, and this is how I feel. I don't want to feel that way, but could I just be in tune with that? This is how I feel right now. Notice your body and your breath. And sometimes the resistance just lets go, it eases up right away. And other times it's just kind of too entrenched and we can't really just let it go just by going, well. So, however you're experiencing that, see if you could welcome that, welcome your true experience in this moment without making yourself wrong. And stay aware of your body and your breath. Notice what's happening with that. And that sensation or feeling in your body. And then see if you could reframe your experience. It might be something like, life is full. I have a lot going on right now, and I'm struggling to feel steady. And I'm trying to be kind with myself about that. Wow, I'm so glad I took this time to rest. Even with everything that's going on, I took this time just to rest. Even as you're aware of words that might be coming and going in the mind, your images, maintain that awareness of your body and your breath, that anchor. We're not helplessly swept away. And if we get swept away for a moment, then we notice we come back. It's like, oh, I was off in a big train of thought about that. And now I'm back. I'm noticing my body again. I can see and feel the way that I can relax into the floor or the bed, into my body. I'm enjoying my breath. Be aware of your whole body from head to toes. Notice again what it feels like in your whole entire body. What's happening in your muscles, your joints, your organs, your digestive system, breath. And then let go of all the thoughts, let go of the inquiry, let go of everything for a moment. Just rest. Sometimes the mind will go tearing off, and we can just bring it back. We have another few minutes, sweetie. You don't have to go anywhere right now. Let's just rest. Feel the warmth of your own attention, your own love and comfort as you rest. And take your time. We're finished the practice, but take your time as you come out of it. Notice how you feel. And if you need to give yourself permission to come back to this, and do that now. Just really notice I could actually come back to resting, even if it's just for a minute. But if I did that all day long, came back to my breath, came back to kindness, that would really help. And when you're ready, go about your day.